Hi, Mike here. You're watching Scout Restoration Yukon. In this video, I remove and reinstall the pilot bearing using Loctite 620 stud and bearing mount. Then I install the clutch, pressure plate, and bell housing. Bonus, I salvage the input shaft from a Scout 80 to use as a clutch aligning tool. I will show all the details. I hope you like it. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out. So let's get to work. In a previous video, I installed this pilot bearing with blue Loctite. And I've changed my mind. I'm going to knock it back out and I'm going to use Loctite 620 retaining compound to hold the pilot bearing in the flywheel. So let's get to work. First, I will drive the bearing back out. Okay, now that's out. There's a little bit of emery cloth to clean up inside the flywheel. The bearing goes. Put it down flat. Just clean up the bearing a little bit. Applying the retaining compound to the bearing. This stuff is really expensive, but it works very well. I'll just smear that around there. Make a nice even coat of that. And just set the bearing in place. Gently tap it in. And I believe I want it recessed a little bit. One more tap. Let's just have a look at the other side. I think that's looking great. Well, that's done. I'm ready to install the flywheel. So I'm just going to hit it with the brake clean. Paper towel. Okay, just popping the flywheel on there. Just going to start a couple of bolts and run them in, and then take them out again. Put my Loctite on. Just running them in to make sure the flywheel is nice and straight and true. Looks fine. So now I'll take those bolts out again. Apply the Loctite. Okay, there's one. So that's 8 3/8 National Fine bolts. I'll just snug them. So the flywheel to crankshaft torque is 45 to 55. Initial torque 40. So I'll go 1. That's 40. Final torque 55. Okay, one more time. I'll just go right around. Just to check. You see, I missed one. Okay, I'm going to go a third time. Good. I'm starting with the clutch fork. Just removing the slave cylinder. Slave cylinder. Release bearing. Clutch fork. I think I'll just get this bell housing off of here first. Probably 5/8. Let's just see if
we can get on any of these bell housing bolts. There's one bell housing bolt. Yeah. The rest of them, I think, I'm not going to be able to get on them. It's only 4 bolts, and we'll have the bell housing off. That's 2 bolts. Yeah, that's tight. Yeah, one was tight. Block of wood. Under here. There we have a short 5/8 ring wrench. So this is the front bearing retainer.
I will remove the front bearing retainer bolts.
Their hex head. Clean those holes out. This is a 3-speed transmission, and it only has three holes in the front bearing retainer. The 4-speed transmission has 4 bolts. Try this one here. Nope. This one here. Yes. So that fits. I guess I'll just use the impact on it. 1, 2, 3. Front bearing retainer. Off. I'll take the top off. I just got to get some of this dirt out of here so I can get on the bolts and scrape it off a bit, you know. Before I remove that, I'm going to grab a scraper. I'm going to turn this a bit. I just want to get some of this crud. It's going to fall inside. Move the shifter cover. Actually, the shift forks don't look too bad. The gears are in good condition. Geez, and the blocker rings and the synchros, everybody looks in pretty good condition. Yeah, everything's turning. Now, there should be a flat spot on the synchro ring so that we can clear the cluster. But I don't see any flat spot.
I will remove the transfer case and pull the output shaft back far enough for enough room to get the input shaft out that way.
Somebody's removed a lot of the bolts. But I know there's one more bolt that's really hard to get at. Pretty sure it hasn't been gotten to yet. So, I'll tip this up a bit. Have a look. Turn it upside down. Yeah, there's another bolt in behind the transmission mount that goes the other way. Just remove the transmission mount. And that's the one bolt left right there that I need to undo. So you've got one bolt Now we're free.
Unfortunately, I lost the last clip.
So that didn't go exactly as I planned. I had to take a whole bunch of extra stuff apart, but I got what I wanted. My clutch lining tool. This is the ultimate clutch lining tool. Instead of trying to make something Mickey Mouse to make it work, I've got the right pilot, the right spline, plenty long, exactly what I need. Attention, fellow Scout enthusiasts. Thanks for watching. I hope that you're getting useful insights from my videos. If I can earn 1,000 subscribers, I will be able to create Scout videos for a long time. Please like and subscribe so that we can continue this journey for years to come. I will show all the details. Over and out. Now I'm ready to install the clutch pressure plate and release bearing. In advance, I've put 3 5/16 studs in the flywheel just for ease of installation. So I'll just put a little bit of grease inside here, a little bit of grease on the splines in the clutch disc. Later on, when I install the engine, I will put grease on the input shaft on the transmission, but not now. Let's get to work. Looks like a little bit of Loctite got on the clutch surface there. Let's give it a little spray brake clean. This is the final degreasing. Putting a tiny little bit of grease inside the bearing. And I put a little bit of grease inside the clutch plate. This is my clutch aligning tool. It fits nicely into the pilot bearing, like so. So what I'm going to do is load this up. So the way I'm doing this today is I have my input shaft, my aligning tool, through the pressure plate, and I have the disc here on here. So what I'm going to do is just start this pilot bearing in there. See, so now the disc is supported, and then there's these 3 studs, right, that I put. So there it is. You see, it's on the stud, and the clutch disc is perfectly centered, so I can start to put some bolts in now. These 5/16 bolts don't take lock washers. It doesn't come with lock washers. Lock washers are not recommended. What's recommended is medium Loctite. So I can start these 6 bolts, a good healthy shot of medium Loctite on each bolt, right? Get them started into the flywheel. So that's 3 bolts started. Now I can remove my dowels. 1. There. Last one. There. First of all, I'm just running these in till they touch the pressure plate. So they all touch the pressure plate. Right? Now, we want to make sure that this isn't down a little bit. It seems pretty good. So I'm just kind of holding it like that, pushing in and holding it. And now, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, there, there, there. Pretty sure that's squeezing the disc already. A little bit of Loctite spilled off here and there. Let's tidy that up. Now I'm just going to go a little bit, just in increments, round. Just keep going around. turning this a little bit so it all pulls in evenly. And the fingers, levers, the release levers are all even. See, this is tight now. I can take this out now. I'm now torquing the pressure plate bolts to 16 foot-pounds. The book says 16 foot-pounds, but I think I'm going to go to 20. So final torque, 20 foot-pounds. That feels more like it. Just gonna go do it one more time. Okay, now I will try the input shaft. See how it goes in here. Looks pretty good. Fits perfectly. So when I install the transmission, right, this will go, it's in the clutch disc now, in the spline, and now there, it's in the pilot bearing. Good. Good to go. There's just a tiny little bit of grease here. Won't hurt anything, but I'm just wiping it up. Now I'm installing the bell housing. Just put one bolt in there to hold it. We'll give these dowels a little tap. One there. And one there. Just put a dab of Never Cease on these bell housing bolts. The two bottom bolts are smaller. I'm just going to run these bolts in with the impact. That's plenty tight. This is one of those cones for greasing wheel bearings. And try putting the release bearing, clutch release bearing in here, tightening this down pretty tight. And then pumping grease in here. It'll take a while to fill that void up. Not coming out anywhere yet. I think I see grease all around. Let's put some more. See a little bit of grease. Okay. Seems to me that's an awful lot of grease I pumped in there. So, let's have a look at that and see what we've got. I don't normally use these kind of tools because they're bloody messy. Of course, we filled the whole void up with grease. I think I'm going to give it a bit more. Create a bit of pressure in there. Let's see how that looks. Oh, but I can feel it inside here. It's nice. I can feel the grease inside the bearing. So that was well worthwhile.
Of course, I may regret this if I start the engine and grease flies all over the place. But if that happens, I'll deal with it when the time comes.
It's full of grease. You can feel it. It's packed full of grease. I'm extremely happy with this. And it's a synthetic, high lithium based grease. Just what we want in a release bearing. I'm just going to put a little grease on the fork here. And the bearing goes. Put a grease in the groove on the bearing, right? So then that release bearing goes in there like that, right? that. So here you can see the release bearing on the fork. So I'm just going to take that out for now. One last thing to do is grease this cross shaft. There, and over here. Grease came out everywhere, so we're good. In conclusion, this clutch and flywheel installation went very well. I'm confident that it will do its job and move this Scout wherever it needs to go for many years. In my next video, I will build a priming tool for the 152 Comanche engine. I hope you like it. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out.